What up, peeps? It's your girl, Dutch. Come back to Funeral Takes. Well, this is a review for the movie titled Parasite, one of my anticipated films. This is, of course, a foreign film, Korean film by director Bong Joon-ho. Now, just a note, as I'm discussing this, I will look down because I have to note the names and I want to say their names correctly. I do not want to disrespect. I'm all about that because of my own name. And furthermore, also, being that this is such a great movie, an excellent movie, I am going to do this a spoiler free. I feel like it would be a disservice not to just give anything really away in this movie. I'm going to try to frame it a certain way, but I will do my best. But again, I'm not going to discuss this in its entirety because it was so good. I would rather you guys just see it for yourself. But this one, of course, like I said, a foreign film, definitely has subtitles. So if you're not into that, you'd be missing out. But I feel like if you get to see it, definitely do so. You will be fine. If you know how to pace those eyes and anything else you're watching, you'll be able to keep up with the movie. It doesn't bother me at all to watch them, so I actually love them. So, but like I said, the director, of course, he's done quite a few other movies. One of the movies I like that he's done in the past was a movie titled Okja, and then also Snowpiercer. One in particular character is in this movie who was in Snowpiercer that I enjoy, and let me get his name correct. That is Kang Ho Song. He plays the character Mr. Kim. And let me just kind of get into this. This movie, it'll be short and brief because I can't really discuss where I want to. This deals in regards to different types of class of individuals, different families from, going from, individuals who are, on a higher upper scale and then ones who are on a lower scale. And that's basically what this honestly centers around the most. In regards to that, you have one family, which is the Kim family. Of course, I already noted the patriarch of the family, the father. Then we have the wife, which played Shung Suk, which is by the name Hai Jin Jang. That's the mother of the family, of the Kim family. Then we have the son, who goes by the name Kevin, even though it says Kim in this one, but his name was Kevin in the movie. His name is Woo Sik Choi. And then we have the daughter, who goes by the name of Jessica in this. Her name is So Dam Park. That family, of course, they're on their ladder where they're not of, a high, living a lavish, whichever. They were on the lower scale of class, family, whichever, living, was considered the downtown area, kind of run down, barely making ends meet with the money they're able to bring in. Of course, the father, Mr. Kim, at times speaks of, having certain failed businesses or whichever and wanting to provide the best he can for his family and trying to figure out what to do, what will be their next way of making that happen. Now, the other family in this movie is called the Park family. Let me note their names. The husband of the family, his name is, if I'm not mistaken on this one, he goes by Park Dun-Key Park. That's Sun Kyun Lee. Then we have Yeon Kyo Park, which is Yuo Jeong Jo. That's the wife. Then you have the daughter goes by the name of Dahai Park, which is Ji So Jung. And then you have the son who goes by Desong Park, whose name is Hyan Jong Jung. And that is the names. I'm going to keep them straight to just the names of the characters because their full names, it's going to be very descriptive for me to get through to that. But needless to say, this movie, like I stated, when you start the movie off, you kind of see it where as the son named Kevin, his friend named Min reaches out to him. He's going abroad, overseas to study, and he wants him to take over teaching, English to a girl he goes to see. Unbeknownst to him, he kind of favors her a little bit, whatever and all that. Needless to say, I won't go into that much of that detail with that. But needless to say, he's like, I don't really have a college degree. He's like, just fake it, whatever. I don't want those frat boys that deal with going over to teach or whatever, because he already knows where their mind's at, whichever. He would like to send somebody over he knows he can trust and feel calm that she's being taken care of, in regards to teaching her more of the English language, whichever. So he definitely uses his sister Jessica to help him get his papers together. He's like, no, don't worry, when you go over there, you'll have my recommendation. That'll get you far in there with Miss Park, within getting in there, showcasing that. And you see the scene of him going, she wants to sit in with, him doing the first lesson. He basically puts on a really good show of how to go about, devising the family's plan. And from there, she feels like he is probably going to be the best fit. He's able to win the mother over. The daughter's kind of entranced with his technique. And from there, it kind of starts off, certain, ways of certain things are going to start happening where all of the Kim family is going to get involved. Where all of a sudden now, they have a situation where the son, does a lot of art, whatever, and he doesn't, he's not very calm. He's always doing something, whatever, and they're trying to find a way to kind of, get him, a little bit more structured. And he's like, oh, I know somebody, whichever, come in with fake names, and, this is somebody who's, friend of the family, whichever. Her name is Jessica. Oh, yeah, she went to this school, this and that and the other. So that's when he brings his sister in, and she's this. So if you saw the trailer, you see the scene where you see how before she rings the doorbell, they kind of work through, she's just from this school, this. It's all in kind of like a slight chant of a musical chant. And it was done very effortlessly. Literally, I was literally in awe of how everything was kind of strategically done in regards to this plan. And it was just so fascinating seeing how all these little small parts get intertwined to keep bringing from the son, the daughter, the father, the mother, and then all culminating, dealing with these two different classes working within this one home, which is the Park family's home. The father, the matriarch of the family, the Parks, he's of course a tech guy doing this, whichever, and all that. He needed a new driver because, of course, a particular family member decided to, find a way to get the original driver out of the way. So they're doing it. So, like I said, it's all mechanically done, very methodical, the way they go about doing it. And all the while, they get a little comfortable, a little too comfortable. That's when certain things happen. Of course, once the mother comes in, she ends up taking over one of the main characters in the movie. Let me note her name. I want to note this down. Her name is Jeon Eun Lee. That's her real name. In the movie, she is the housekeeper. She's, a very, part of, matriarch. She's basically the housekeeper who's come, from the previous owners and works with the park. So she's been there for a while. So they had to find a way to, work on getting her out of there and getting, their family member, the mother, into this. And the way that kind of happens, it's unfortunate. Won't spoil that. That was really good. The way they were tactical and how they all played a part in devising her to be let go from her job that she had for so long. Now, when I say her character, goes from being very, I want to say, very calm, mild-mannered to almost literally mad one. Certain things start happening, like I stated, when they become too comfortable. And there's a scene that I really enjoyed where it shows the Park family going away. They take their son away, for his birthday, whatever, like a little camping trip, whatever. And they're just all in the house, it's supposed to be just the housekeeper, which is the mother, Chung Suk. But then all of them there, taking advantage of the liquor, having fun in the bath, just, acting up, and then having this long drawn out conversation, which is very integral in understanding the different classes and how they feel, doing what they're doing, then also how they feel about the parks, and they go into really good discussion about that. Very key on certain aspects of, how you see their main role, what they're doing, why they're doing it, and understanding, some of the reasoning for why they do it and how they feel about the family, and not feeling too guilty about what they're doing. Also, you see other things that happen when the original housekeeper comes back and certain things start to come out more of a reveal. Let me tell you, the amount of emotions I had watching this film. You definitely get your comedy aspect, listening to some of the family members from the Kim family, devising their plans, certain things they're doing, the way they just talk so brazenly, especially the daughter who plays Jessica, and and who's Jessica in the movie. Just some of the things she says, the mother says, whichever. Of course, besides it being, funny, you get definitely the drama, definitely some drama. You definitely see the mystery of certain things that, like I said, have become revealed by certain characters in the movie. Also a thriller aspect. It's not even, some people say horror, I would say horror, definitely thriller aspect when certain things do come revealed and certain things, individuals want to keep, from, coming out. That's when that thriller, suspenseful thriller comes into play. Now, there is a specific scene where everything definitely comes out. And it's a scene where a party is happening and all these particular characters are all in the house, whichever, the individuals come, the Park family invites other people, and let's just say that the housekeeper has a secret, and certain things come out from that, and when certain things happen where they're trying to keep her hidden, from getting to the parks, whichever, and all that, other things do, happen awry, whichever, that sets off a ripple effect, and let's just say that the secret she tries to keep hidden reveals itself and it causes a whole buck of ruckus, some blood, some gore, some things start to happen, and let's just say, I mean, I was glued to that screen, and it was very effective to the point that there was one scene also with the Parks having a discussion. All the while, some of the Kim family are trying to not to be seen in the house when they weren't supposed to be there, and they make certain statements, blatant statements, rather ignorant in their thought process, but what are you to think that's what they think. And knowing that certain characters are here, and it's mostly Mr. Kim's character, there's something that happens at the party that sets off from what he heard from that original conversation that just happens. And like I said, it's part of the ripple effect of certain things that happen, where he just goes off. And it was just done so superbly. Like I said, you guys, I'm doing my best not to give it away, and I feel like I'm phrasing it just enough that hopefully it's getting you intrigued enough, but it's not giving you away key things that happen throughout this movie. That it happens, like, basically, you really want to understand overall who truly is the parasite. You want to think it's the Kim family for doing what they're doing, in some ways leeching onto this family, using them, in some ways, as being that this is a con family of sorts. You see it in the trailer clearly. But could it be the Park family? Do you feel like at times, because you want to see who do you want to root for the most? Both of the families, it's certain things that they're all going through. You want to feel for them, and you do. You feel sad. There's definitely a really sad situation that happens with the Kim family, and it makes me feel for them. Then I have to always remind myself the beginning of the movie, how everything went down, devising the plan, things that are happening, in the Park family, I won't say so much of them using the Kim family. It's unbeknownst to them what their main agenda is. They're just basically thinking they're bringing individuals, to do a certain, service, unbeknownst to them, that they don't realize that this is actually a family that's in their house claiming to be other people. So, needless to say, and that's not me giving away because that clearly is, but there's a lot more going on in this movie than at least that you will never expect that you see coming. The ending, I love the ending. The third and final act with the party, everything that coming up to the ending, whichever was done very well. There's one significant scene in regards to Mr. Kim, and definitely kind of brings in forth his son, and it was done so good. That part I will say I did feel for the family in that instance. After everything that's happened, the ramifications of certain actions of individuals from the Kim family coming to a head. Yes, just everything about this movie. I can't say it enough. Bong Joon-ho did an excellent job with this movie. I enjoyed this thing immensely. It was nicely paced. You would think, overall being that it was 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours and like 15, 20 minutes, somewhere in that ballpark. I was not bored. I wasn't, my attention span, I was here for every bit of it. I wasn't bored. Like I said, you're getting a little bit of so many different things in regards to genre. Like I said, in regards to, the comedy, the drama, suspense, little action, definitely thriller aspects at times, whichever. But yes, you're getting a little bit of everything, and I can't say enough. This was really done very, very well. I'm glad I got a chance to see this. I'm looking forward to getting this. This will be in my collection for sure. I was telling a family member when I came home, they asked me about it. I kind of went through the whole movie with them, and they really were intrigued. So I look forward to them actually watching themselves. By that time, they would have forgotten, and I'll let them watch it again. So, but yes, this movie, again, I would rate this one out of a 10. I give it about a 9 on this one. I really, really enjoyed this. The casting on this was superb. I can't say it enough. Definitely with Kang Ho Sung, who plays Mr. Kim, I enjoyed him immensely. And the girl who plays Jessica, so dumb apart. She was hilarious at times within this movie, the way she carried herself in certain aspects of sticking to what they're trying to do, what they foresee, with them taking advantage of this family, the money they're bringing in, what they're trying to see. What is it? Because when I say the difference in class, dealing with class discrimination, and then seeing what they thought they could do with this plan, how far this plan can take them, whichever, because this all culminates around a Khan family and their plan of what they want to give them a greater purpose of what they wanted to do for themselves, and basically using this family to get them to where they want to go. And that's pretty much in the end exactly what it is. But I said, yeah, almost like a good metaphor for the movie in regards to Parasite, at least showing this family to take and get what they want from them. That's how I see it. So you guys comment below if you all have seen it. By all means, please comment. I would love to know what your thoughts are on this. And like I stated, if you have not seen this yet, I've already hoped you heard me at the beginning of this. This is definitely not spoiler. I was trying my best to avoid as much spoiler. Like I said, I'm not giving too much away. It's a lot that definitely happens within this movie that I thought is very significant. And I stated it before. Please go see it yourself. I would love to know what you all think. And with that said, I hope you guys see me on the next review. You guys take care.